Welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome aboard on a lovely morning. It is the morning of Wednesday. I'm getting a lot of pressure. I have to do something here. 1 second. 1 second. Just got to. This is a tough one. I just got word that President Trump has put off his message to the country until the podcast is over. Okay, so I thank you to President Trump. Want to make sure we have sound. There you go. Okay, so yeah, I know Thames can't hit lefties, but it's okay. No sound from Mitchell Horston. Okay, it disappeared. It should have come back. Are we doing it? What do we got? Okay, just checking. Anybody else have sound? Sound. Greg. Let's see if anybody else has sound. Why is it always such a problem? Then we got to get Andy and on the whole thing, but it sounds pretty good. Okay, let's get right to it. Welcome aboard, everybody. It doesn't sound like we have sound, okay? There you go. Ray K has sound. Thank you. Okay, moving upward and onward we go. A couple of things to talk about here. Obviously, Deflategate. Right? Deflategate. There was a big deal about Deflategate, right? Big deal. Today, by the way, we're talking about the Philadelphia Phillies. And we'll, of course, have our regular hot stove segment. But the Phillies are the team of the day. But when Deflategate came around, everybody was it was amazing. It was tremendous response by the public on Deflategate with the balls and everything. I don't see that same thing about the cheating in Major League Baseball. And 2 months after the Athletic detailed how the Houston Astros used electronic devices to steal signs in 2017. Now it's been reported that the Boston Red Sox used monitors in their video replay room to decipher opponents' signs in 2018. But who knows? Who knows? Who the freak knows? Everybody's got sound. Good morning to Dale. Who knows? Maybe every team in Major League Baseball is cheating. Now, when we saw that Noah Syndergaard, good morning to Brooks. Good morning to Brooks and Greg and Dale and George and Mal Powell and Mitchell and Ray K and Unholy Toledo. Mitchell, I hope you got sound. When Noah Syndergaard was shown sticking his fingers into his glove to get a substance, the remarks were, no manager's going to turn him in because every pitcher, futures are stable. Stable. A little plus, a little minus, it's going to be flat. There you go, Brooks. The point is that managers wouldn't really call timeout and go to the mound and get Syndergaard kicked out because so many of their own pitchers were doing the same thing. I wonder if that's in baseball, the fact that every team is possibly cheating, but I don't really see the hue and the cry to do anything about it. Right? Once again, President Trump has put off his press conference or speech to the nation until this podcast is over. Okay? So just want you to know that. All right. Look, when Ken Cameron, these are dark secrets of baseball. Dark secrets that don't become public knowledge until it's discovered by accident. Remember when Ken Caminiti confessed to Sports Illustrated? He used steroids. Remember that? All of a sudden, Major League Baseball had to acknowledge that the game had a problem with performance-enhancing drugs. In any case, the sign stealing scandal, which was brought out by Mike Fiers, who spoke on record with The Athletic, pretty unbelievable, okay? So I have to do one more thing, so just bear with me. Having a problem here with stuff by myself. Okay, turn that back on. All right, we're trying to make sure just getting annoying messages from the. It's not annoying. just getting messages from the White House as to how long this podcast is going to be so President Trump can go on the air and talk to the nation. All right, but anyway, that's the way it is. That's the way it is with what's going on in Major League Baseball. Now, let's just continue on. A lot of things going on in Major League Baseball. Of course, we're always waiting for the Dodgers to make a move and the whole thing with the Dodgers. We're absolutely waiting for to see what happens with Josh Donaldson. We're waiting to see now Nick Castellanos looks like Texas is really making some inroads into Nick Castellanos, okay? Texas making inroads into Nick Castellanos, and of course, they signed Chirinos yesterday. Here's an interesting one. From 1992 to 1995, Tony Gwynn. Now listen, you won't believe this one. Tony Gwynn had more runs scored than swings and misses. Is that unbelievable? Yeah, Tony Gwynn had more runs scored than swings and misses. Good morning to you all. DK Lush has joined us. Ray K has joined us. The whole deal. Andrea has joined us. Yeah, we're shocked we don't hear more about that scandal. No, whatever scandal it is, everybody keeps it quiet. Got reports that Miguel Andujar is throwing and taking ground balls in the Dominican Republic after he had that season-ending right shoulder surgery. Now, he's going to be healthy to start spring training. Now, will Andujar play third base if Gleyber Torres plays shortstop? That's a terrible defensive alignment on the left side. And all of a sudden, to talk about Kyle Schwarber in left field, you don't hear that anymore, right? They can't do it defensively. It's the same thing with the Cardinals. They can't sign Castellanos in St. Louis rather than Ozuna because they can't have Castellanos and Jose Martinez playing the corner spots in the outfield. There's a lot to it. The White Sox have now gone over the $200 million mark in the free agent expenditures with the signing of veteran reliever Steve Cishek. All right, 1 year. All right, so includes a 2001 option. Now, the back of the bullpen was the strength for the White Sox in 2019, and they added another piece. He makes a short move, of course, from Wrigley Field to, I can't even remember, I'll call it Comiskey Park. Guaranteed rate field. Spent the last 2 seasons with the Cubs and the whole thing. Look, we all know his numbers with the Marlins, the whole thing. He is the latest in the long list of off-season moves by the White Sox. Keuchel, Gio Gonzalez, Yasmani Grandal, Nomar Mazzaro, and Edwin Encarnacion. So we are looking forward to talking a lot about the Chicago White Sox. Now he joins a bunch of veteran relievers, Alex Colomé, Aaron Bummer, and Evan Marshall. Colomé, very underrated in the closing department. He's tied for 4th in the American League with 30 saves. In 2019, he went 4-5 with a 2.8 ERA, 55 strikeouts. And so, yeah, look, Bummer had a 2.13 ERA and 1 save in 58 outings. This kid, Bummer, he struck out 60 and walked 24. Marshall went 4-2. He had 19 holds. If you're in a holds league, this kid Marshall for the White Sox could be pretty good. He had 41 strikeouts in about 50 innings. Okay, so there you go. Now, Corey Dickerson signed with the Marlins, so that's official. And after being dealt by the Phillies at the trade deadline, Corey's new team was in Miami for a 3-game series, and he remember, he went 5 for 14. Okay, and he liked what he saw there. He was very anxious. He got offers from other teams, and he chose the Marlins, a team that will not be a doormat this year. So on Tuesday, they officially signed the 30-year-old Dickerson, and look, he's the latest addition to the Marlins as a team that really looks like they will upgrade over previous years. Okay, there you go. Phil Chapman is here. Philly Chapman. And let me just take a minute, since Phil is in the chat room, to say Peter Kreitzer comes out with a magazine called Fantasy Baseball, whatever it is, okay? But the point is that Phil Chaplin is in it. Phil Chaplin and Kevin Hastings are in this magazine. They are featured in it. They have a lot of comments, a lot of things to say. Good morning to the Itch. So I'm very proud. I'll tell you right now. Kevin and Phil had very limited, if any, experience prior to joining up with us here. And collectively, we have given each other enough confidence and enough time. They have made a tremendous impact for me, by the way, not just as fantasy analysts, but as the most wonderful people that I have met. Okay, and that goes for everybody. These two guys, I met them personally, as I will meet every single one of you guys. Okay, because I want to. I hope you want to meet me. Okay, the Itch is here. Andy is here. George is here. Away we go. Okay, yeah, great stuff. Imagine seeing your name in a magazine. I mean, that's a big freaking deal. I don't give a hoot and Andy what you say. It's a big deal. Big deal. So congratulations. You know, whatever the accomplishment is, we tend to poo-poo it. It's a big deal, okay? And you don't get in there by being nothing. And your comment and your whatever you say is looked at. And if it's not sensational, they don't take it. So just remember that. All right, so Dickerson could be a very interesting pick. He split 2019 between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, hit 304, 12 home runs, 28 doubles, 78 games. Okay, he missed the first half. You see, sometimes we look at the numbers, we don't realize that he missed the first half of the season with a right shoulder strain and the final 3 weeks with a fractured foot. So keep in mind, Corey Dickerson could be a very interesting sleeper. Not that he's going to be a star, but he's going to be a very interesting sleeper. I mean, $1 pick, end game, last pick in the draft, something like that. Now, Jimmy Nelson will be paid $2 million in incentives by simply being on the Dodgers opening day roster and active for 90 days. So he's got reason to make some money. He missed the entire 2018 season. He had that partially torn labrum in his right shoulder. It was surgically repaired in 2017. But he had elbow trouble last year, pitched only 10 games. 3 of them were starts. Forget about his record. The Milwaukee didn't tender him a contract. So he's 6'6", 250 pounds. I got to tell you something. Here's another sleeper. He had his best year in 2017 with a 3.4 ERA. But, you know, his average fastball velocity, according to Fangraphs, peaked at about 93 miles an hour in 2017, dipped a little bit last year. He throws a slider, a curve, a changeup. You know, I say all these things. Who the hell cares what he throws? All I know is he has more than 2 pitches. Slider, curve, changeup. So when you have more than 2, you got to take a look at a player. Okay, he's got 4 good pitches. He's expected to compete with Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin. As I say all the time, you cannot possibly watch every player in spring training. Okay, President Trump on the other line. Yeah, it'll be about. We'll be done about. Give us about 20 minutes. Okay, thank you. All right, about 20 minutes, and then President Trump will be on the air talking to the country, but he has graciously allowed us to continue the podcast, all right? He is a Philly fan, by the way. All right, so he's expected to compete with Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin. And the Dodgers, don't forget, they lost Hyun-Shin Ryu, they lost Rich Hill to free agency. They still got Buehler, not bad, Clayton Kershaw, Kenta Maeda, Julio Urias. So Nelson could be the long relief guy, but I don't think so. So don't forget, the Dodgers' only significant move has been the signing of Blake Trinan to a 1-year contract. I mean, they went after Garrett Cole. They went after Cole, okay? They are among the teams that show some interest in Josh Donaldson. The Dodgers have been linked to trade talks to Francisco Lindor. Okay, they've been linked to Mookie Betts. The Dodgers signed former Brewers Jimmy Nelson instead of signing Mookie Betts and Francisco Lindor. Okay, if you're a Dodger fan, you may not be too thrilled about this, all right? But still, and don't forget, Nelson pitched in the Brewers rotation since the middle of 2014 when he went 11-13 at a 4 ERA. All right. So you want to talk about